channel. My name is Malika, and if you are returning, thank you so much for your continued support. And if you're new here, this is my channel, and I hope you enjoy yourself while you're here. So for those of you who have been following me, you know that I usually do these sitting in my car or my house or something, but this is me working on my latest air dry clay project in the background, and I thought it would be more fun for you to see this instead of just looking at my face. So I really had so much fun with this, and art therapy or just working on art and being creative and having that time for play has been so key for me this year, and you'll understand why as I explain my 2022 year in review. So this year started off for me with my mental health and emotional health being very low, and me just working on different self-development, self-help techniques and spirituality and all of that. It was helping, but I knew that I needed more. And this is probably around the time where I realized that I probably need a therapist. And so I didn't immediately go towards that. I was still working it through in my mind, and just what type of therapist I wanted to go to, and were they gonna have the same beliefs or similar beliefs and stuff like that. All the logistics, plus having to tell my primary care doctor, of course, because you have to go through them, and it's a big thing to tell people you've been having these horrible depression experiences, panic attacks, anxiety, just a lot going on. And that's how I kind of started off the year. Now, while I was having those feelings, I was also in a mentorship program, and some of you may have seen me graduate from that program, and also you may have seen that I launched my self-love course, and I ended up taking that course away or taking it down because I just felt I was going through a phase during that time where I was kind of realizing that a lot of these so-called spiritual self-development leaders, they were just out for $1. They really had no intention of helping people. So it was kind of after I launched my course that I was just like, I'm going to take this down because I don't want to be a part of that. People are struggling, people are going through things, and although I poured my heart and my soul into that course, I just felt like with me having these feelings right now, it's best if I just take them down and just do what I naturally do. Like, for me, it really is about helping people. And when you put spirituality into it, I'm not, first and foremost, to anybody who has a spiritual based business, I'm not saying that you should be broke and do it for nothing. What I'm saying is that spirituality should be center front. It should never just be about making a profit. And because we live in a super capitalistic society, unfortunately, a lot of these people, it really doesn't matter what industry you're in, they're out for $1, and that is their motivation behind it. And they can say that it's spiritual based and it's higher purpose, and I do all these things. And if that was the case, then it would be a not-for-profit, to be honest. Like, if that was truly the case, it would be a not-for-profit, and you would only take what you needed and give the rest back. But that's neither here nor there. All I'm saying is that was a big part of my mental health as well too, is just like turning off the noise, stop listening to all these people and all these different things that didn't align with me. And I could tell they didn't align with me because they were making my spirit upset. They were not helping at all with my mental health. And so I just kind of backed away from all of that. And I will be honest and say, like, a lot of my belief system have changed, and they will always change. And this is why I say, listen to yourself. Listen to what your spirit is telling you. Because the more you keep taking in that shit, let's just be honest, that shit that doesn't resonate with you, it is being detriment to your well-being and your health and all of that. So I kind of just backed away from all of that, turned that stuff off, stopped really promoting my tarot, and ironically, I got more clients after that. And I took that as a sign. It's just like, you know what? I'm doing this because I really want to help people, not because I'm trying to line my pockets. And I got more clients without advertising, for real, and all of that. And around that time, I was thinking about stopping tarot too, because I wasn't seeing the growth that I thought I should have been seeing. But I just kind of realized that, you know what? Those who need to hear from me will, and they will find me. And that's how it's always been. And I stuck to it, you know? Everybody needs an income in this kind of society that we have, and I was grateful that my needs were being met, and I'll just leave it there. But I got around the June kind of time frame, and that's when I finally was like, okay, May. It was more like May, June-ish. I got around that time frame and I was like, okay, I'm finally ready to tell my doctor that I've been having horrible anxiety, on and off depression, going through a lot emotionally, all these different traumas and things that were coming up to the surface, and family issues and all of that, you know. And I was working through that on my own, but I realized that I needed more assistance. So that's when I reached out to my primary care and let them know what I was going through. We had an initial meeting. I talked about my panic attacks and stuff like that, and my anxiety and how it physically impacts my life. And around this time, I was sort of like, throughout the year, I had been practicing like dabbling in my more creative side, and that was helping me as well too. So I was still kind of doing that. And then also I was realizing that I have a undergraduate degree, my bachelor's in psychology. I was realizing that, you know, I really love psychology. And that's why I love tarot, because a lot of people don't know this. It is Carl Jung really brought out the psychological aspects of tarot, and I love divination tools because they can be used in psychology, and in professional settings as well. Many psychologists and psychoanalysts and things of that nature do use divination tools like I Ching and all of that, which is an ancient Chinese divination tool. But I love it. So around that time, I was kind of realizing that, you know, I really love psychology. That has been one of my passions. I love the human psyche. I love understanding the subconscious and our wants and our desires and the needs driving it, and the different ways in which, you know, life can impact that. So I was kind of like, periodically throughout the year, you guys know how the economy and everything has been, and jobs and stuff like that. I had been looking for a position in my field for quite maybe a year and a half, and it just was not, you know, happening. And which is understood. It was the pandemic, everything like that, you know. And finally, you know, by this June-ish, July-ish time frame, I had been filling out all these different applications and stuff like that. So I filled out one probably around July-ish, maybe June, towards the end of June. It might even have been May. I can't really tell you. And unexpectedly, they call me in August, which is around the time where I'm starting to have my first couple of therapy sessions as well. They call me around that time frame, you know, set up an interview. I end up getting it. So finally, I'm putting all my knowledge to use and I'm getting experience in my field. So that happened, and that was great. And it really kind of enhanced my desire to further my education. So I'm currently looking into all of that. But around this time, I just got heavier into like the art aspect of everything, and I kind of pulled back from social media a lot, because social media and all those self-help posts and all that stuff, they can be helpful, but they can be toxic too. So I realized this year that it was about me focusing on my mental, physical, spiritual well-being. And when I tuned everything out, pulled back from social media and all that stuff, because even those self-help posts can be toxic at times, and I just listened to what I needed. I got still, I got quiet and listened to what I needed to make my life better. It started changing. I realized at the beginning of the year that I needed more support. It took me to half of the year to start to get that support for myself. But when I did, it was so beautiful for me. And one thing I learned through going through therapy is just like, we have to experience it all. The ups, the downs, the highs, and the lows. It's when we try to push those things and those experiences away, and we try to mask them. It's when we're not having the full human experience. And that's what it's about, having that full human experience. And so going forward in 2023, I am going to continue to work on listening and doing what I need to do for myself. And I hope that you do too. I wish you nothing but the best 2023 calendar year. And I hope that you learn what you need to learn and do what you need to do for you, because that's what it's all about, being the best versions of ourselves, being the healthiest versions of ourselves, despite our flaws, because we're still going to have them regardless, so it is what it is. But I love each and every one of you, and as always, peace and love, and I'll see you next time.